The Legend of the Celestial Mushrooms. Long ago, in an age when mountains still whispered ancient names and the winds carried the language of stars, there was a secret known only to the heavens: the existence of mushrooms of light, sent from the skies to heal the hearts of humankind. These were no ordinary mushrooms. They were celestial beings, entrusted by angels to descend into the earthly realm, not with words or swords, but with silence and glow. Each one bore a flicker of divine wisdom, a sliver of the stars, hidden in soft orange caps and slender stems. They grew on the bark of forgotten trees, in places untouched by greed or war, where moss hummed lullabies and old roots remembered time. It was said that those with a pure heart could see them, and if one touched a mushroom gently, with kindness and intention, their sorrows would lighten, their minds would clear, and they would remember who they truly were. The darkness below, but light, as always, cast shadows. From beneath the crust of the world, in deep and cold caverns where no stars could reach, the demon lords stirred. Twisted by envy and wounded pride, they could not bear the peace these mushrooms brought. So they unleashed a poison upon the world: black rains, winds thick with despair, and whispers that corroded hope. The mushrooms, though holy, were fragile. They dimmed under the darkness. Their glow waned, and slowly they lost their connection to the heavens. The gate that once led them back to the sky closed. Heaven wept, but could not interfere. And so the celestial mushrooms clung to ancient trees, trembling with fading light, waiting for a miracle that never came. The Girl in the Silent Forest. In a quiet village at the edge of the world lived a girl named Ailina. She had no riches, no family, and no claim to greatness, only a gentle soul and hands made strong by compassion. One cold evening, while seeking firewood, she wandered too far and stumbled into a forest few dared enter. Locals called it the Silent Grove, where no birds sang and no paths returned. But Ailina saw what others could not. Beneath the roots, wrapped around the bark of an ancient tree, were mushrooms glowing softly like fallen stars. She did not scream, she did not flee. Instead, she knelt and whispered, "Are you cold?" From that day forward, Ailina returned every night. She brought clean water in wooden bowls, sang lullabies she barely remembered, and cleared away the creeping vines that strangled the mushrooms. Her breath warmed them, her touch healed them, her presence, though human, reminded them of the heavens. Under her care, the mushrooms began to glow again.
The end of a life and the beginning of another. Years passed. The girl aged. Her hands became slower, her steps more fragile, but her love for the mushrooms never faltered. And one winter, as snow fell like ash from the sky, Ailina collapsed beneath the very tree she had tended for so long. The mushrooms surrounded her like guardians. They glowed not in grief, but in gratitude. The heavens had watched. Though the mushrooms could not return, Ailina's heart had become something far greater, an eternal vessel of kindness. As she took her final breath, the earth stirred. From the spot where she lay, a great tree began to grow, coiling upward like a spiral of bone and breath. Its bark was pale, its roots vast, and on its twisting branches the mushrooms bloomed, stronger, brighter, more radiant than ever before. The Tree of Awakening. This tree stood unlike any other. It was alive not just with wood and leaf, but with memory and light. Travelers who ventured near it, those weighed down by grief or lost in life's labyrinth, would see its glow from afar. They came in silence, drawn by something they could not name. And when they sat beneath its glowing caps and laid their hands upon its bark, something stirred within them. Some wept for the first time in years. Others laughed with relief. A few left behind the burdens they carried and walked a new path with clarity and peace. The mushrooms, once orphaned from the sky, had found a purpose beyond returning. They had become guides, and the tree, known in whispers as the Tree of Awakening, was said to hum with Aelena's voice on moonlit nights, singing to the brokenhearted and gently turning them back toward light. A living legend. The legend says that only those with a kind soul can find the Tree of Awakening. If your heart holds greed or malice, you will walk in circles, forever lost in the woods. But to the humble, the wounded, the seekers, and the quiet ones, it reveals itself with grace. The mushrooms bloom there still, glowing in the dark like candles of the divine. And though they never returned to heaven, their mission became something even more beautiful. They became light for the world below. The end. If you ever find yourself deep in an unfamiliar forest and the night seems endless, look for a soft orange glow among the roots. You may have found them. And if you listen carefully, you might hear Aelena's song, carried on the wind, guiding you home.